All right. It is that time again. It's Friday. It's week 4 of the 6 weeks of rotating bonus raids. Let's do these 4. These are all wind, so I get to use my fire element party, which is great because that's probably the one I've done the most with. And you can see that I still have like all my plus marks on that from a while back. I don't remember what the impetus to move all my bonuses over there was. Was it Guild War? It might have been. But either way, I just never moved them off for some reason. I just left them there. And fuck my life, these supports are terrible. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not what I'm looking for. It does not fit my play style to do Colossus and Shiva. It's like, it does for a lot of people. For me, no, I'm not a fan. But we'll take what we can get. So we're gonna take the strongest one, the strongest version we can get. And before we just detonate on this chucklehead, this party does not pack mist whatsoever. It uses the devil summon to get those debuffs to start with. And speaking of debuffs, we want to land that. We want to land that. And then we have a couple of damage skills to use. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we're not doing turn 1 that we would do in a normal fight because of this. Like, we're not dumping all of our skills right away because it's kind of a waste. That's a lot of damage. It's gonna get pretty ridiculous at some points. Hi, Tab. How are you doing? I got like halfway done with the second upgrade to the Skysteel hatchet, I think. Maybe more like a third. Somewhere between those two numbers. It's a lot of amber that I have to pick up, so yeah. Alright, so let's do this. And I sort of explained Ilnat a little bit the first time that I did Xeno Sagittarius on here, which is not available right now. But basically, we want to stack things in such a way that we're using our damage skills last, which we already kind of want to do anyway. But before she uses her charged attack, in order to optimize damage, her, look at me, I'm out here with all my statistics and everything. Like some kind of nerd. But, I guess this game really is designed so at certain levels you are kind of just doing the stupid nerd bullshit, right? Statistics, oh! Just... But, on top of everything else, my brain is fucking fried right now when it comes to this game because of a thing I just did a little while ago that was a complete nightmare, and I'm pretty sure I won surely on the basis of luck. That's always fun. Oh, wait. I was about to say, thankfully, I don't think... Well... I was gonna say, thankfully, I don't think this guy does anything that's like percentage trigger, but I forgot. Yes, he does. But also, we're just gonna laugh at him because he's just gonna completely whiff that attack and get stunned for it. Ah, that like almost 4 million damage. Yeah, that's pretty good. And say we'd pretty much be walking into another percentage trigger right now. But oh, hi, Alan. Oh, geez, I did not do anything with my. I changed up some of my notifications, but I only shrunk the notification box down on my other layout. So over here, the text is gonna look gigantic compared to usual. Note yourself to fix that later. You want me to kill you? I saw what you went through, most of it anyway, so I kind of understand that. How's everybody doing tonight? Aside from Alan, who was just playing Mega Man X7. I can't assure you that anything you see on here will be any oh geez, that bad? Well, yeah, I can kind of understand that. So this fight was so easy that I didn't even get a chance to explain anything about what I do here. I'll do that at the start of the next fight, and we'll have ourselves a good old time. And by a good old time, I mean absolutely, by a good old time, I mean I don't think anybody in here will make any sense out of it. But I think that's okay. You guys, y'all seem to, like, not hate watching this. And, oh, thank goodness, somebody's got a Colossus. I'm very happy for this. At some point, I should probably do, like, tutorial type of videos for the reasons of, like, explaining to people how to get into this, or, you know, how to play this game without spending money and, you know, without hating yourself in the process. Okay, so, clicking away from the window to mute the background music for just a second while I try to talk about this. With what I have right now, this party does two things really well. And the first one is that it takes advantage of a status effect that basically fools all of my mechanics into thinking the enemy is constantly in break status, even when it's not, and unloading ridiculous amounts of damage with my skills. This makes it very good for just tearing through short fights like we just saw earlier. We just demolished Neja pretty much, whose name I'm probably mispronouncing very, very badly. But for something a little longer like this, it will be a bit more on the intensive side. So explaining the whole of, like, the math behind what kind of weapons you want to use in your set is a little bit of a pain on short notice, and, you know, it's probably torture to people who have never played this game before. But basically, if you look over the weapon grid on the left side, one of the key things there is the sword in the top left of the set of 9. It has an ability that increases our skill damage cap, and the gun in the lower right increases it even more. It's something like 50% for the gun, I think. So, yeah, the amount of damage we can do is massively increased from what the game would usually let us get away with. And let's take a quick look at our characters. You'll notice that I'm not using the standard mist on this character, which is like just 25% attack and defense down, because I get that same buff from that same debuff from elsewhere. Dispel is just as an emergency thing. It tends to come up kind of a lot, so yeah. Dragfracht is 5 hits. Damage on this is pretty high, but it's not very reliable in a multi-target fight like this. And it basically adds a lot of... It increases the damage cap very heavily on Chain Burst, which is when we have multiple people using their charge attacks. Battering ram. This is... Excuse me, I'm having a bit of a... I'm a little out of it right now, sorry. So this does damage and it delays the target, which means that it will do its thing later. And it can activate twice after we take 3 turns where we don't get hit. So very simple to get that to a point where it will start doing like 2 million, 2.5 million in one turn. And this is the default skill for the Cavalier here, Horseman's Duty. This, we get like, I think it's a 15% damage bonus on our regular attacks. And we can take 1 hit with no damage, and we get targeted less. Which is great because, unlike every other team that I've shown off so far, look at how much less this HP is. It is a pretty good horse. It is an amazing horse. So, the Cavalier is basically 2 classes in one, depending on what type of weapon you're using, either a spear or a gun. And as you can tell, I'm using a gun on this one. As Cavalier with a gun, your HP is reduced massively, like 15% or something. And on top of that, the gun that I'm using reduces our max HP too. So the fact that we have this much at all is kind of silly. So let's see if I can explain these things on the fly. Alright, so to start the turn, start the fight, we summon the Devil, whose power plant ability inflicts a pretty sizable amount of attack and defense down and burns for 3 turns. We activate this, which basically responds to the enemy using one of their big attacks and does a bunch of damage to all of them and stuns them for 2 turns. This will reduce defense further. We're getting somewhere pretty fast with this, actually. This is what gives us a chance to not get hit at all. Accuracy reduction functions very differently from blind in this game, which I will explain in a moment or so. Do this. There's no reason to use this right now, so I won't. And that is our first turn, is using like half of our nukes. Because we're starting this fight during strike time, which I believe I've explained before. So we start with all of our... Everybody's charge meter is filled up to start with. So certain things are... We're not going to get the most mileage out of them, basically. Okay. Delay. Probably not necessary. And it missed. That is like one of the most unreliable delay effects in the entire game that I've used so far. So I'm not entirely surprised by that, but it probably won't end up mattering anyway. We'll see later. Here's our other buff. Alright. Tien, aka Esser, can use Stardust. And that will guarantee her triple attacks for 2 turns. Final Order lets her do a pretty large amount of damage to a target in break. This enemy is not in break, but this... Let's see if it actually shows on here. Yeah, it takes effects to activate against foes in break. There you go. And this is just the thing that we just don't use at the start of the fight because of that 20% boost. We don't want to waste anything. And you know what? No, it's in overdrive and like halfway down. I'm not gonna waste battering ram just yet. Misfit burner is burger. Wow, I didn't know that Plastic Alan was in here twice. Oh. Say what? Oh wow, I do not remember this being a thing at all. So, like, all of our shit is locked. We got hit with some pretty nasty statuses there. Yeah. Charge is lowered on every turn. Can't use charge attack for 3 turns. Can't use any skills until next turn. That sucks. But thankfully we don't have a ton to do right now anyway, so we'll just summon Colossus, get our shield, which is fairly self-explanatory, but it does have a little HP number on there, which is nice. When I first started playing, you didn't get to see how much shield you had. You just had to know how much the abilities gave you and guess based on the damage you'd taken. It was miserable. This has its downsides too, in that you'll sometimes be stuck there staring at it for like 3 seconds, like, oh, how much do I have left? And then you aren't able to know. Oh, was that... Oh, that skill lock wasn't on that turn. Okay, that's... I did not expect that. Is that, Okay. Yeah, so this should delay the 2 side units there that are... Yeah. So we only have to destroy the target on the far left of the interface here. We can take out these other 2 if we want, but I'm going to ignore them because... Not really important to do that. Plus, more targets actually, in kind of this odd counterintuitive way, does help, because every time these enemies do an enemy does a special move, Ilnot reactivates her burner bomb nuke there, and you know, it's extra damage. It's, as I say once in a while, free real estate. And so I'm going to use this not to inflict a delay. I'm just going to do damage with it. And then forget to activate Esser's other nuke. Shit. It's just kind of a testament to the fact that this is not a hard fight, that I'm goofing up this much. Like, yeah, a lot of this can be kind of scary, but I've got enough... I can tank this very, very well. Yeah, so I think we're going to be done with this in... This will be turn 7, I think? So we're taking this down pretty fast. Yeah. Hooray! Probably nothing of note in those drops, but that's okay. Hey, somebody we may never see this entire day just gain some more bonuses. Alright. So here's the one that's really hard for this set, is Grimnir here. He's actually kind of scary because he can do a pretty good chunk of damage to us. We might actually have people die in this fight, which, you know, is kind of surprising at this point, right? After the bullshit I've been pulling with the other fights. Also, he's a huge dork. Let's do our usual stuff here. As soon as I remember what all of that is, because somehow I managed to forget in the middle of, like, 2 fights. Okay. So let's attempt to land a delay here. Oh, good work. This. Activate the sun. I didn't explain this last time, but the sun lets the first 3 characters in our party attack twice in 1 turn. And we've dropped Buddy Boy down to 95% HP, so I think this is when he's going to hit us with something pretty big. Oh no, is it 91 then? Either way, we start getting hit by the percentage triggers pretty early in this fight. Oh shit! Oh, that's not cool. So that flash ruination thing is 2 randomly selected targeted hits of non-elemental damage based on percentage of the target's HP. So, yeah, thankfully it cannot be an instant kill, but it's still pretty... Well, I mean, it could be an instant kill if your HP is that low, but still, that's pretty gross for someone to get hit by both hits of that. Wait, can it be a kill? Fuck, now I'm confused. Whatever. That still really, really sucked. Usually RNG will work in your favor and the hits will be spread out better. And so it won't scare the pants off of you too much. Also, you can see that there is a downside of assigning our major defensive debuff, defense and offense debuff to be tied to summoning the devil here, in that the delay between doing that is 9 turns, and that can take a while when you have to hit this many buttons. So our big debuffs have fallen off already, which is definitely substandard, but we seem to be getting away with the rest of this pretty well. Oh, we're getting good rolls with Ilsa, who's like really the main character that we have to worry about any sort of luck is her. Because she's really, really not guaranteed to land multi-attacks very well. And I need her at 70% or higher when I do this in order to get my full-size combo off here. There are very few instances where the main character should ever not land 3 attacks in 1 turn, because, at least with this build, the weapon that I'm using right now has an ability where if you have if the target is under a break effect or thinks it's under a break effect, basically, all attacks against it by just the main character will be triple attacks. So our damage output is kind of ridiculous. And we don't have to worry about charge whatsoever. We'll have Ilnat heal herself, which is kind of a mundane use for that skill, because 10 turns... Oh, nice counter. That's just pure luck. I think the counter is tied to... Where does that come from? Is that just... That might just be a thing that I have with someone else in the party. I don't know. Okay, so that threw me off, but here's where we start getting to the turn where we do really big damage. So we activate the sun, and we activate Esther's final ability. We did use a couple of Eternals. This is similar to Ancient Ecke Octo, his big ability, except that it's different, obviously. It's similar in that 10 turn lockout can only be used once. This basically gives all of her buffs to everybody in the party. They get the bonus damage, they get the guaranteed triple attacks for 2 turns, and they get the bonus damage and bonus damage cap against targets in break for the 1 attack. So I was gonna say, oh, you'll see in a second, but it's a little hard to with all the numbers going around. But we only got that big bonus on the first attack that each of those characters did. Well, first set of 3 for each of them, anyway. With the double strike from the sun, it did not reapply on the second set of attacks because the effect was consumed already. If we used a damaging skill after using that, we would lose the effect as well. But we would still be doing a lot of damage and have a very large damage cap increase on it, but it's still kind of a waste, generally. Because, again, numbers, blah, 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 blah. Statistics are, everybody's favorite, I'm sure. Oh, wait, no, the other thing. So, I'm really, really hoping, by the way, from a very specific drop from Grimnir here, but I don't know if we're going to end up getting it because it's very rare and also was just added to the game a couple of weeks ago. And they made the drop rate, like, absolutely fucking impossible for it because, of course, they did. Hopefully, I'm sincerely hoping they go back and change it at some point. Although they're kind of more of a niche set of new weapons that do that stuff, so maybe they won't. Okay, I didn't quite fuck myself completely there, but put another delay there. Alright. Things are getting a little tight here in terms of HP, so I'm probably going to... Yeah, I'm going to give Ilsa my other freebie green potion here. And we do this. 40%? Is that when this happens? Because something gets added onto this face. That's not it, I don't think. Is it? Okay, it is a field effect, yeah. Can deal critical hits regardless of element. Attack and defense buffs are ineffective. And our characters just get straight up killed if their HP is 5% or lower. So, yeah, that's not exactly great. A lot of people are going to die here pretty soon, because this party is designed to do one thing and one thing only. Propane and propane accessory. Wait, that's something else, sorry. Alright, so you got 3. I can get a... I'm gonna do something I don't usually do here because I'll get a bunch of boosts out of this. Propane, yeah, definitely. Propane and propane accessories. Alright. So, for the first time in a very, very long time on this stream, we've got someone from the back row coming up to the front. So, Rakam, I think I've shown Rakam off before here. We're going to activate his skills basically backwards. So, this will let him charge somebody's meter entirely and gives them a attack and charge attack specs are boosted. I'm pretty sure that's basically just like attack and damage cap boosts. Let's throw out a delay. Duration 2. The more we can push through this overdrive meter, the better. Because otherwise, yeah, life's gonna suck when we grow up. It sucks pretty bad right now. And double tap, so he'll take his bonus attack here. Oh, I was hoping for a triple, but nope. And blue. That is not ideal. So I am going to waste battering ram here. But I don't necessarily think that she'll survive for too long. Alright, come on. Show me something really ugly here, because we're getting into this. This is absolutely going to be one of the toughest things that... Oh yeah, he's going, what? What? It's starting to sound like Little John. Boost. Heal yourself. Frau is also someone we haven't really seen. Her abilities, again, we're going right to left. So this is pretty standard nuke. That gives her a small stat boost and heals us and removes debuffs. It does a lot for only 5 turns. And more importantly, she's got this going for her. Damage skills activate twice. That is a consequence of her coming into the front row. If she starts out in the front row, she doesn't get that. While she's in the back row, the turn-based debuffs that we land on enemies are increased by 1 turn, if they come from our skills. If not, they don't. Alright, Crimson Nightmare. This is going to land twice. And that inflicts basically 2 different types of charm effects that are probably never going to trigger. And Strange Attractor increases turn-based debuff durations by 2 turns. Well, 1 turn, but it activates twice. So you can see we got 6 turns of False Break on there, which is probably more than we'll need. But Oh, look at those crits. That's very nice. Put up our shields. I think I understand the problem that why I'm getting my ass whooped here compared to usual is that I should usually have much higher, like, everything because of using, Colossus for both summons. Oh, there we go. That was one of the charm effects triggering the Caught in a Nightmare. That's pretty great. That's a really kind of unsettling looking animation, huh? And we're gonna get hit by something that's gonna hurt pretty badly here. Yeah, see... Oh shit, Illinois is still alive. I'm surprised. She took a lot there, that's for sure. Spitfire, I think that stacks to 5, yes. Alright. Healing. Okay. Oh, right, she removes one of her own debuffs every turn as long as she has that on. Wow, I forgot about that. What's the rest of our team looking like? 41, 65. Okay, so it's not yet time to activate Kaguya because it's kind of useless. Oh boy, this... You have 3? Yes, you do. Okay, so we're getting a heal. We're getting some other stuff going. And, I'm going to hold on to Strange Attractor for a bit, because I don't need it to refresh or increase the turn counter for Onslaught yet. And her other debuffs are not on the guy anymore because they ran out of time. Yeah, we're not having a great time here. This is getting a little tight, but I think we're gonna pull this out. Ooh, that's not inspiring a lot of confidence in me. Yeah, especially not after that. I may actually have to revive for this, but we'll see how it goes. Ooh. Well, this is the first time that I've actually failed to do this on a stream. The first time I've failed in a... You know, I swear that I usually can actually beat this with no revive. Again, I'm pretty sure it's because my support options were garbage. So let's go ahead and... Yeah, this gives us some kind of hint that's not useful. When you fall in a raid, you can do this to give a boost to the other parties, which is meaningless because we're the only one here. And in most cases, you can spend one of these full elixirs to revive yourself. Your skill cooldowns for characters who aren't on the field, including when they're dead, continue to move as they normally would, but they don't get refreshed from a revive. However, with a full elixir, we do revive with full meter. And since I do have that many, yes, I could probably just cheese a lot of fights and just keep dumping those over and over. But we're not about that. We are not about that life. And yes, by the way, you can't just cheese things out and recast this over and over by reviving. Well, that was, that could have gone better, to say the least. I'm kind of embarrassed about that, not gonna lie. And we got shit drops as expected. Well, fuck you, and fuck the metagame. Let's just move on to doing the one that's basically free. And see, here's where the... Again, I need to not dwell on it, but it is just very irritating because... Like, I feel like I'm not completely alone in actually doing that, and yet... Okay, so I'm banking on the fact that we don't have to hit the attack button at all, and this will be just a 0-turn kill. Yep, there we go. We just used all of our nukes, and that's it. Tiamat is the first boss, and so they made a lot of the higher level Tiamat raids all super easy for some reason. So, yeah. Well, we got a bunch of weapons that we can use to upgrade other stuff with, so... You know what? Not all bad. Although, Grimnir, I need you to drop the spoon, you asshole. Well... Yeah,